The Automation Testing Roadmap, how to actually get started. If you search how to become an automation tester, you'll find 100 different roadmaps, half of them contradicting each other, and most of them written before AI assistants existed. Today we're fixing that. This video covers 3 things people constantly search for and rarely get a straight answer on. An actual roadmap for becoming an automation tester, exactly how a manual tester makes that transition, and which framework, Selenium, Playwright, or Cypress, you should actually learn first. We're covering all 3 because they're really one decision tree, not 3 separate questions. Let's go through it properly, one piece at a time. What automation testing actually requires? Before any roadmap makes sense, you need to know what you're actually building toward. Automation testing sits on 4 pillars. First, testing fundamentals. The same thing manual testers already know. What makes a good test case, how to think about edge cases, how to prioritize what to test. Second, programming basics. Not software engineer level programming, but enough to read and write simple scripts, variables, loops, conditionals, functions. Third, a testing framework. A tool like Playwright, Selenium, or Cypress that actually drives a browser and makes assertions. Fourth, supporting skills. Version control with Git, reading CI/CD pipeline results, and increasingly, knowing how to use AI assistants to speed up all of the above. Notice testing fundamentals is listed first, not last. That's deliberate, and we'll come back to why. Stage 1 is testing fundamentals plus basic programming. And I want to be specific about how much programming you actually need here, because this is where most roadmaps scare people off unnecessarily. You do not need a computer science degree. You need to comfortably read and write variables that store values, if-else conditionals, for loops, and functions that take inputs and return outputs. That's genuinely most of it for getting started. Pick one language. JavaScript is the most practical choice right now because it's what Playwright and Cypress both use natively. And spend 2 to 3 weeks on just those fundamentals using any free interactive course. Don't try to learn a testing framework yet. Get comfortable with the language first. Stage 2 is where you pick a framework and write your first real automated tests. This is also where AI changes the traditional roadmap significantly. Instead of memorizing framework syntax from documentation for weeks, you can describe what you want to test in plain English and have an AI assistant generate the actual code. Then study that generated code to learn the framework's patterns by example. This doesn't replace learning, it accelerates it, because you're learning framework syntax in the context of real, working examples instead of abstract documentation. Spend 3 to 4 weeks here. Write 10 to 15 small automated tests against a practice site using AI to generate first drafts and then modifying them yourself until you understand every line. Stage 3 is what actually makes you employable. Real project experience and the supporting skills around automation, not just writing individual test scripts. This means learning Git well enough to commit code and understand a pull request, learning to read a CI/CD pipeline's test results when a build fails, and building a small portfolio project, a test suite for a real public demo site pushed to a GitHub repository you can show in an interview. Budget 4 to 6 weeks for this stage. This is also where you start using AI for more than script generation, debugging failures, generating test data, and reviewing your own code for edge cases you missed. Realistic timeline and common mistakes. Adding that up, roughly 2 to 3 months of consistent part-time effort to go from zero to a credible junior automation tester portfolio. Not the automation testing in 30 days claims you'll see elsewhere. And not the multi-year timelines either. Here are the 2 mistakes that blow up this timeline the most. Mistake 1. Trying to learn a framework before basic programming is comfortable. You end up debugging syntax errors instead of learning testing concepts. Mistake 2. Only ever following tutorials, never writing an original test against a site nobody gave you the answer key for. Force yourself to test something undocumented by week 6, even if it's messy. Why manual testers have a head start. Now let's talk specifically about transitioning from manual to automation testing, because if that's you, You're starting from a materially better position than a complete beginner. And most roadmaps don't say this clearly enough. You already know how to design a good test case, what to check, what edge cases matter, how to prioritize risk. That's the hardest part of automation testing to teach, and you already have it. What you're adding isn't testing skill, it's a new way of executing tests you already know how to design. Say that to yourself when this feels intimidating. You are not starting over, you're adding a skill on top of one you already have. What manual testers actually need to add? So what's actually missing? 3 things, specifically. Programming fundamentals, the same variables, loops, and functions from stage 1. Git and version control, because automated tests live in a codebase, not a spreadsheet or test management tool. And comfort reading error messages and stack traces without panicking. This one is purely a confidence skill, not a knowledge gap, and it goes away with repetition. Notice what's not on this list. You don't need to become a software engineer. You don't need to learn data structures and algorithms, and you don't need a formal computer science background. The scope of programming you actually need is narrower than it sounds from the outside. How AI changes this transition specifically. Here's what's genuinely different about making this transition today versus 3 years ago. AI assistants let you contribute automated tests before you're fully fluent in a programming language, the same way you might read a foreign language before you can write it fluently yourself. You describe a test case in plain English, something you already know how to do from manual testing, and Claude generates the actual code. You then study that code, ask questions about lines you don't understand, and gradually you're writing more of it yourself and relying on AI less for the basics, more for the genuinely hard parts. This compresses the timeline substantially compared to learning syntax from scratch before writing anything real. A concrete weekly plan. Let's make this a real plan, not just a philosophy. Weeks 1 and 2. Programming fundamentals, 30 minutes a day. No automation tools yet. Weeks 3 and 4. Pick a framework, and for every manual test case you already know how to write by hand, describe it to Claude and have it generate the automated version. Then run it, and change one small thing about it yourself before moving to the next one. Weeks 5 and 6. Stop using AI for generation on your next 5 tests. Write them yourself first, then ask AI to review and suggest improvements, which flips you from AI-dependent to AI-assisted. That shift, from generation to review, is the actual marker of the transition being complete. Tool comparison, the 3 contenders. Now the question that stalls more people than anything else: which framework do you actually learn? Selenium, Playwright, or Cypress? Let's get concrete about what each one actually is. Selenium is the oldest, most widely adopted across the industry. Supports the most programming languages: Java, Python, C#, JavaScript, and more. And works across virtually every browser and platform combination that exists. Playwright is newer, built by Microsoft, and was designed specifically to fix a lot of Selenium's historical pain points. It has built-in automatic waiting for elements, faster execution, and strong support for modern web apps. Cypress is also newer, JavaScript only, and known for an especially fast feedback loop during test writing, with a distinctive architecture that runs inside the browser itself, rather than driving it externally. Comparing what actually matters. Here's a direct comparison on the dimensions that actually affect your day-to-day experience. Language support. Selenium wins clearly if your team uses Java, Python, or C#. Playwright supports multiple languages too, but leans JavaScript, TypeScript first in practice. And Cypress is JavaScript only, full stop. Handling flaky tests. This is where Playwright and Cypress both meaningfully outperform Selenium, because they auto-wait for elements to be ready, rather than requiring you to write manual wait logic. This alone eliminates a huge fraction of the flaky test problems that plague Selenium suites. Cross-browser and multi-tab support. Selenium and Playwright both handle this well. Cypress historically has had more limitations here, though it's improved. Setup and learning curve. Cypress and Playwright are both noticeably easier to get running for a first test than Selenium, which typically needs more configuration around drivers and browser versions. Which one should you actually learn? So here's the actual recommendation based on your specific situation, not a generic "it depends." If your target companies or team already use a specific tool, and you can often find this out from job postings, learn that one. Matching what employers actually ask for beats any abstract best framework. If you're starting with a genuinely blank slate and no specific target yet, Playwright is the strongest default choice for most beginners in 2026. Modern architecture, auto-weighting reduces early frustration, multi-language support gives you flexibility later, and it's what we've been using throughout this series. Learn Selenium specifically if you know you're targeting large enterprise environments, since it remains extremely common there due to its long track record and broad language support. Learn Cypress if your target role is specifically front-end focused JavaScript testing and the team already uses it. Putting it all together. Let's connect all three pieces because they're not actually separate decisions. Your roadmap is testing fundamentals and basic programming first, then a framework, most likely Playwright, unless your target employer tells you otherwise. Then real project experience with Git and CI/CD. If you're coming from manual testing, you skip relearning test design entirely and focus your energy on the programming and framework pieces, using AI to bridge the gap between I know what to test and I know how to automate it. None of this requires abandoning what you already know. It's additive, not a restart. 4 pillars: testing fundamentals, programming basics, a framework, and supporting skills like Git and CI/CD. A realistic timeline: 2 to 3 months of consistent effort, not 30 days and not 2 years. If you're a manual tester, you're not starting over. You're adding a specific, narrow set of technical skills to test design ability you already have. And for framework choice, match your target employer's stack if you know it, and default to Playwright if you don't. Pick one small, concrete thing from this video and start on it this week. That's genuinely how every person who's made this transition successfully actually did it.